I am so excited to be with all of you because it has been some time before I completed our last course. And now once again we are back with our free webinar on dealing with negative thoughts. Hope all of you are well. You are in a good mood. You are energetic. You are enthusiastic. You are on top of the world, as you and I would always like to be. But sometimes we are down. I know. I understand the negative thoughts sometimes pull us down. So I hope all of you are good and now ready to get into the webinar. It is about dealing with negative thoughts. And this topic seems to be very, very simple, and then chances are you may have heard quite a few things about how to deal with the negative thoughts. I'm hoping that the kind of research that I have studied and the kind of work that I have been doing, I might be able to provide you with some more bigger level insights, some strategies which are not just psychological, but which is beyond psyche, which is beyond your mind, which is what I fell in love with when I first time heard that you cannot solve the problem at the same level at which it got created. And if our problem is our mind, and if the problem is the negative thoughts that occur in our mind, uh, at the psychological level, we are taking the help of the mind to solve the problem of the mind, which is effective, which is good. But the recent research has shown that there is another level to which you can go if you want to not just reduce, but actually make your negative thoughts disappear from life. Not just deal with your negative thoughts such that they can come back again. You deal with it in such a way that all your upsets, all your problems, all your hurt, all your pain that you may have experienced from your past life, they actually disappear if you go through a process called ontology. The ontological approach is different from psychological, but today I'm going to concentrate on the psychological approach. And in the end, we may talk a little bit about the ontological approach as well. And then, given the fact that you have been part of the psychological approach in the past also by listening to some more speakers, you may find that yes, I'm on the same track, maybe a little deeper, based on whatever new information or research that has happened in the last 10 to 15 years, which I'm going to share with you. So let me start with a story. And the story goes like this. There were two monks. And these two monks were walking along, and they were walking along a river. And you understand, the monks are those who renunciate life, who renunciate physical dimension of life as well. They live on the bare necessities. The two monks, one was the senior one, who was the master, the other one was a disciple, and they are walking along, and as they come to a part of the river, they see that there is a young woman standing there, very, very harassed and in trouble. You could see it on her face that she was in trouble. So both these monks look at that young female, and the younger one, who was the disciple, took his face away and didn't want to look at her at all. The master said, "No, I will look at her." And then he goes to her and then asks her, "What is the problem?" And she says, "Look, it is now end of the day, and I have to reach my son who's on the other side of the river. And then right now there is no transportation available, and I'm very scared because I do not know how to swim, and I want to go to the other side of the bank." The master, the monk, he carries the woman and then starts walking across the river from one end to the other and drops her on the other side of the bank. After having done that, they again begin to walk. And as they are walking, they realize that the disciple, the student, was very quiet. In fact, you could see that he was very disturbed, and he was inside feeling very angry about the whole thing. And then after half an hour or 45 minutes, he couldn't really keep it to himself. You and I know that when we are really troubled inside and when we are negative about something and we are upset, we cannot keep it for very long within us, because if you keep it inside yourself and not let it out, not vent it out, it becomes a poison. The finally disciple tells his master, Master, I'm going to leave you. I do not want to continue with you. So the master says, why? So he says, enough is enough. You know why I would like to leave you? I would like to leave you because all my life you taught me that you have to not look at females. You do not have to get into lust. You do not have to do anything to do with women. And here I see not only you went to her, you actually picked her up, you touched her, and you took it on the other side, and you were with her for the entire 5 minutes of the walk. So the master said, oh, so now I realize what is your problem. Now I can see that you are upset with me for what reason. And he says, listen, you don't have to leave me. I will leave you. And he says, why you will leave me? And he says, yes, I will leave you because I only carried the woman for 5 minutes, but you have been carrying the same woman for the last 45 minutes. I carried her only for 5 minutes. You carried her for 45 minutes. And therefore, I am going to leave you. What is the moral? What is the message behind this particular fable, this story? And the message is that you and I do get upset in life. You and I do get negative thoughts in our lives. You and I do suffer the pain when we go through a particular hardship or a setback or even a crisis in our life. I understand that. But the problem with us is that we suffer not because of that pain. We suffer because we continue to linger with that particular pain. We continue to hold the woman in our mind for 45 minutes, for 45 days, for many, many years. Some just don't get out of it. And most people are not aware that are they getting troubled or are they getting suffered because of what happened or because of what they are carrying in their mind. So I think today we will try and understand how do we deal with those negative thoughts such that we carry the woman for 5 minutes, we drop the woman, and then that woman is out of our mind. Not unlike the student, the disciple, who never carried her, but still continued with her for 45 minutes. How do we ensure that we become free of those negative thoughts? And before I get into understanding how to deal with it, let us try and understand what exactly happens, from where these negative thoughts arise in us, and in what kind of negative thoughts do we get in our lives. And then we will talk about how to deal with those negative thoughts that we get. Those negative thoughts are actually the self-sabotaging thoughts. In other words, they are self-limiting beliefs.